into the same trap once again.
Right now, I'm looking at the lineup here, and it does look like DxSoul, they have a very aggressive draft. This is a very good draft coming in from them. The only thing that we do have to consider is that if we're talking about the laning phase, the Granger will have a better time going up against the Harif. Before Harif gets level 4, it's not going to be a good lane for Harif. And then we're looking at the EXP as well. The Hylos does win against that Phoveus. It's only the mid where we can see a potential that DxSoul can actually win that mid lane. So I kind of feel like the management of the laners here is going to be very crucial in this matchup.
The thing is, we think about the common habits of these teams, though, is that in the early game, they tend to not really go for particularly aggressive rotations. Rasi gonna prove me wrong straight away. Now he has to flicker away.
Yep. And I kind of feel like this is what you want to do, where you want to set the tempo, right? Especially because the Granger naturally has an advantage earlier, so you kind of want to put him in a bad spot. But Nova Escobar understanding that there's a chance that Ruff will get punished, so he just comes in and heal him up.
Now this is one of the plus benefits of having a Kalea around. Even before having access to that ultimate, just the sheer healing that she's able to provide to her team from her passive is actually kind of ridiculous. At levels 1 and 2, you can get topped up in basically an instant.
Yep. Looking at the bottom lane here, it does look like they're putting, sources down. But Siska is not going to get baited. Still going to be completely fine. And now looks like Storm still doing quite okay. And Nova Escobar taking quite a lot of damage coming in from this Kimi.
It's something you have to expect. Kimi is going to outpoke almost anyone in the game, especially this early on when no one really has the defensive items to eat it. For now, though, Xeno in a lot of trouble, gonna get ganked by Tree. Nova Escobar holding on to the title strike, and Kimin not gonna commit his ultimate. Forces out the Revitalize, but no kill on the Hylos.
Dude, the fact that Hylos still survived, and it took that much, like, that was... He's a tanky guy, and DxSoul, they were... If they committed the ult, maybe they could have gotten the kill. So I hope that Kimin has a better idea of what he wants to do with that Ogi Shadow kill. Maybe try to assassinate, maybe Roundo in this turtle fight.
I'm not sure if Kimin was thinking they could get it without it, but now the turtle being contested, Kimin comes in, Fender Strike Uni, gonna secure the turtle away! Xeno gonna be picked up as first blood though, and now DxSoul looking for some revenge! Tsunami Slam, gonna pull Rasi backwards, but Nova Escobar is so low! Fortunately, DxSoul has run out of gas. That's gonna be all they get.
I would say that's kind of equal because one turtle... Nah, not that equal, because DxSoul did get a turtle and get the kill. Okay, never mind. Wait, no, Monster Vicious
got the turtle.
Okay, that's why I was weirded out, because I believe that he got... Okay, I'm colorblind, okay? I was about to say Xeno, he did die, but it was good because that stun prevented Kimin from using the Retribution. So a good call from Uni as well as Xeno to make sure that they secure that. So even trade, turtle for a kill, I feel like it's okay. 300 gold, no one's really gonna miss anything here.
So far, the game stayed still pretty even, as expected. Nova Escobar gonna get caught in the traction pulse, maybe a bit too far. Tsunami Slam cancelled by his death, but Glorious Prophet comes in, Raging Sandstorm, Flicker used by Rasi to escape. Better Dare Strike, threatening Stone, but he's able to survive just one last hit away. It looks like Nova is gonna be the only kill.
Yeah, right now we're looking at DxSoul. They're being very proactive in the match, which is something that I really like, where even though Monster Vicious historically is a very strong team, but they're not playing scared. If they see an opportunity, they're going to go for it. So I like that DxSoul, at least for this week, it looks like they have improved in terms of understanding, like, we're in the playoffs too. We're as strong as everyone here.
I think if you've prepared enough, you'll understand that Monster Vicious is not a team you can afford to give initiative over to. This team naturally plays a little slower, loves to play for the mid-game phase, and wants to be the ones initiating big team fights. If you're able to match up to their tempo, you disable a lot of their snowball capability.
I mean, now Xeno taking a lot of damage here.
Kimin looks like he's not gonna Ogi Shadow kill, but the Glorious Pathway has been used, so that's an important ultimate MV does not have.
Yeah, I kind of feel like maybe this is just Coach Theo letting them know that you don't have to kill that Hylos. As long as you get a lot from him, the Revitalize, the Glorious Pathway, I feel like that's enough. So maybe this is DxSoul playing a different game here, where you're not going all in, you're just getting the resources from your opponents and playing around it.
I like it so far. It's good discipline from a very new team. Xeno once again gonna eat some poke, but Ruff is also here to join the fight. This is gonna be a 5v5, and We all know that Monster Vicious loves their 5v5 Tidal Strike going to miss. Here comes the glorious pathway used by Xeno. He deals so much damage to Flicker. 4-man knockup into the Raging Sandstorm. Tsunami Slam gonna pull Cisco backwards, but the Infernal Pursuit cancels the better answer. This guy's doing so much work right now. Ogi Shadow Kill executes Nova in the backline, and Cisco will finally fall.
That 3-man knockup was amazing by Cisco. He dies, but so what? They give a lot of advantage here because they got a turtle, and more importantly, they showed that Monster Vicious, you can't really go for this team fight. And with that, kind of psychologically, DxSoul is going to have a better position here in the map.
Yeah, that is very, very good. Cisco, he held his ground. Even though he ate most of his HP and damage instantly, the initiation and then the continued follow-up, ready to throw his life away to get the objective, gave DxSoul another kill on top of that as well. It was on a less important target, the Kalea, but it's still very good because it's allowed them to build up that 2k gold lead now.
As a roamer, hold on, looks like...
Oh, unlucky for Kimin, he get caught! Tsunami Slam pulls him into the feathered airstrike. That is rough.
Stop it, man.
That was not intentional.
Okay. As long as it's not intentional. Either ways, like, I kind of feel like even if you're able to get Nova Escobar early, I feel like it's good, especially considering what he's going to build. Because if he dies a lot... Oh! Wait, how did they get Cisco?
It's a 3-man gang. They died behind the tier 1.
The fact that they stayed there. They got a kill and then they stayed there.
They're gonna try and burn down Xeno now, but Revitalize doing so much. Raging Sandstorm also not quite enough as Feathered Airstrike zones Storm away. Rasi still alive though, sets up for SkyZ. He pops the Salmon Force, goes in, but Ruff is there. Artillery sieging. Nova will go down. SkyZ needing to back off. Ogi Shadow Kill bounces it literally the most unlucky way possible. So Kimin doesn't find anything more.
How does Xeno not die? Like, he has escaped death so many times. At this point, he should be a gold laner.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you know, he takes a lot of hits and everything, so no, I understand. But the fact that he doesn't die is like, woof.
It goes to show, right? Hylos is one of the tankiest heroes in the game for a reason.
And he can even take the Lord. Hylos, man, like, that's no wonder he's the skin of the season.
Reza's Hylos stole the Lord earlier in the first match of the day, for those of you who didn't know. At the very least, so far, the junglers are actually the ones securing the turtle, so we're not really seeing a repeat of some very interesting stuff at the start of the day.
And now Rasi does find Rondo. Rondo does have to use the wings by wings. But,
Conceal, Flicker in, they find one, that's Rasi, lifted up with the Tsunami Slam, Cisco's in backline, throw threatening Ruff, killing 3, going over to the Granger, Feathered Airstrike comes out, Xeno gonna be blasted down, Salmon Force coming out as well, Novax Kobar, gonna be another casualty, it is a 1-for-2 trade.
Oh, this is early, but Kimin now has the Blade of Despair. So he's building a Hunter Strike into a Blade of Despair. So now this is a pretty big power spike by Kimin. So even if someone's alone, they really got to be careful because that damage is very deceiving, especially because people don't usually expect second item Blade of Despair.
Yeah, maybe he really was annoyed that the Ogi Shadow Kill bounced so unluckily previously, but that is a very important item to have at this stage. It's gonna melt down MV really, really quickly, and I don't even think it's meant to actually secure the kills. I'm pretty sure Kimin's gonna use that as a way to melt them down and let SkyZ and Stone finish him off.
Maybe even higher damage on your Sirkin to actually secure the Lord. Who knows?
That is definitely a possibility. For now, the first Lord of the game is up. DxSoul have the lead, but it's only 1k, and Uni just finished his Holy Crystal as well.
Yep, right now, it looks like DxSoul, they are pulling it over. The only question is, what do they really want? Because DxSoul, honestly, with the engage that they have, I kind of feel like there's a good argument to be made where they can start the fight.
Here comes the Conceal. Kimin gonna pop the Ogi Shadow Kill on Uni, drops him to half HP. Electrifying Beats also used, and Glorious Pathway on the opposite side as well. A lot of resources spent, but not really much to show for it on either team.
Yeah, it's only Kimin, right? He's the only one that used the ult. Everyone else still has it. And now SkyZ is gonna be safe. Now even the Feathered Airstrike is gone. If DxSoul's idea is just to bait out ults, they got it, man. They got it.
And that's exactly what they would hope to achieve here. Uni will have Electrifying Beats back, but the other two are still waiting on their timing. DxSoul, unfortunately, not really able to find the angle needed to punish it, though, so I don't think the use of those ultimates is really gonna do much for my MV.
Yep. Yeah, the DxSoul, they were able to take away a lot of ults, but because they haven't been really all that active, they haven't been punishing that, so Monster Vicious still looking good. Because if you're looking at it, basically everyone has their ult back.
Stone playing a dangerous game here. Those Death Sonatas really starting to hit pretty hard because Ruff is 3-0-1 on this Granger currently. Both teams hovering around the mid-river, not willing to commit to a full-blown Lord fight yet.
The thing that I want, Staffa, is for DxSoul to hold on to the Lord and someone goes split push down bottom, because I feel like that's very free, but the problem is who? The best is Hayabusa, but the moment you see the Hayabusa is far away from the Lord, that's going to be Monster Vicious going straight and burst this Lord down, so you want it, but
important.
Yeah.
Oh, Traction Pulse pulls in Novak Escobar, Tidal Strike, gonna jump away, but that's a good amount of health gone from the Kalea. Feathered Airstrike once again forces the anti-grav thrusters from Stone. And continuing to do poke damage to Rasi. Both teams still playing this pretty slow. Flicker, Tsunami Slam gonna pull Cisco forward. Raging Sandstorm misses, puts them in the backline, and that's a mega double kill for Ruff. They've dived too deep. Triple for the Granger as SkyZ runs right into the Iron Sights. Kimin though picks up the shutdown. Somehow, Xeno still survives all that.
With that being said, everyone else from Monster Vicious was so low, and that traction pull almost killed Nova Escobar. But it did cancel his recall. But in that trade, Monster Vicious won. And I'm not even talking about the kills, man. Look at the bottom lane. Not only did they get the turret, they even got the Holy Defense. I mean, like, to be fair, only a few seconds the Holy Defense is going to be gone anyways. But still, Monster Vicious, they just played the macro, right? And actually, it's not even Monster Vicious, just DxSoul not handling their lane.
I feel like DxSoul disrespected the positioning a little bit there, because Novak Escobar just flickered forward, drags Cisca back, and then the rest of DX just tried to follow in while the artillery from Ruff was just going ham at them. They gave this Granger way too many kills.
Now finally, Rasi is dealing with the bot wave. I feel like the problem with DxSoul is that, oh, hold on, the engagement
The pulse comes in, Glorious Pathway, Kimin steals the Lord away. DxSoul now on disengage mode. Cisco running away from Xeno, but the Death Sonata finds him. They'll trade EXP for EXP. DxSoul still looking to do some poke damage. I don't know if they want to keep this going. Yup, looks like they'll finally back it off.
Both EXP laners die and came in. This is what we want to see from junglers, man. Taking away objectives. That was a very good retribution, and I feel like that's really needed because everyone keeps saying that Kimin hasn't been performing for DxSoul. But now in the playoffs so far, 4-1-2, getting that Lord, I feel like he's pretty clutch. The only problem is DxSoul, they might be tunnel visioning. I hope they fix that throughout the series, because if not, Monster Vicious, if they notice, they can win macro-wise.
Yeah, I agree. I think Monster Vicious has... Oh, Tsunami Slam pulls Rasi back into the Feathered Airstrike, but he flickers out. Tier 2 mid will go down, but Monster Vicious sets up space to melt down the Lord before it hits the inhibitor.
Yep. DxSoul now, almost 3,000 ahead, Staffa. And DxSoul, if they win game 1, they're in condition, man. They're setting it up. It's basically like getting the pieces of Exodia.
It's very difficult to get all 5 pieces of Exodia, but it is possible. We've already seen it in the series. DxSoul right now trying to embody the spirit of Yami Yugi to see if they can get the pieces that they need. And honestly, I am very curious. If DxSoul do win game 1, have they fixed the issue of overheating and throwing game 2?
I would say they are quite disciplined in this game. Again, the only problem is they gotta open up the map. Right? You gotta see the map as a whole. You can't allow the minions to be able to push down your turrets. Now conceal play, Rasi looking for a target.
Looks like they will find the entire team of Monster Vicious. Raging Sandstorm connects, forces the flicker out from Novak Escobar. Uni with the electrifying beast doing a lot of damage in the backline, but Summon Force comes out and zones him away. They're gonna pick up a killing spree in the backline. Ruff gonna trade for Cisca, and SkyZ finding the joy, locking down Xeno with the Starlium Beam. It's a double kill for the Hari, and 3 members of Monster Vicious fall. They will now have to mount a 2v4 defense. There's only a single minion pushing in. That should be easy enough for Monster Vicious to clear out, and the game should not end just yet.
Monster Vicious, like this is the start of a very bad run, because this probably reminds them of previous season in play-ins. They can't lose this one. But now it looks like they're able to get Roundel to use his wings by wings. Nova Escobar trying to get a catch here. Not gonna get anyone.
Rasi will just say Raging Sandstorm out of there. They know that they can't end the game just yet without the Lord, but they're setting themselves up real well. They've taken 2 inhibitors. Lord is coming up in 10 seconds. Monster Vicious now going to need to find a good position to turn this around.
I gotta say, Stone played that really well because he's very quick to realize that he's being targeted by both the Pharsa as well as the Joy. So able to get out of that and the rest of the team collapsing on the Joy, that's really good teamwork coming in from DxO. Something we haven't seen a lot this day.
Yeah, that was a lot of faith and proper reaction to what MV was trying to do. Because you're right, LaFell. Uni tried to dive the backline and yet wasn't really able to find much out of it. And in fact, even ended up dying to SkyZ. Now the Lord gonna be contested once again. Glorious Pathway comes out. Uni pops the electrifying beads. Keeman is in the backline. Wind of Nature keeps Ruff alive, but not long enough. Killing spree for SkyZ. He trades away for Uni. They find a shutdown, but the damage is done. DxSoul gonna be 4-man strong. It is yet another 2v4 defense, but this time they do not have their marksman. Roundel is the only source of DPS. The crystal is wide open. Novax Cobra tries to jump in, but what can a Kalea do in this position? Basically nothing. It's a mega kill for